Welcome to Foundations of Character. I'm Scott Wilkinson and this is my channel. This video is a continuation of the 4 epochs of child development. It's the overview. In the first video, I tried to explain all the things your child learns and what they'll be going through in the first 12 years of life on this planet. I also attempted to point out that your role as a parent changes with each epoch. Parental role shifts always seem to be overlooked when you're looking into child development. I've seen parents struggle with the role shifts. You have to be just as adaptable as your kids are. So in Epoch 1, kids are learning amazingly fast. Everything is new and fresh and exciting for them. They're paying attention to everything, especially to you and the world that you show them. So a parent's role in Epoch 1 is all about building a strong character, a strong foundation by being a nurturer and a teacher. Teach them all you can as fast as you can and put emphasis on character building, manners, being likable, putting God first, family second, everything else third, knowing their ABCs, their numbers, all the colors, and try to get them to read a little by the age of 6. So nurture their learning, guide it. Teach them everything good that you could possibly do in the first 6 years. Now from 7 to 12 is Epoch 2. Kids have started school and are having to navigate a new world. People. They're starting to notice the world is confusing. They're noticing that mom and dad teach one thing, like being nice, using manners, helping people, and doing good. And the other people, kids, teachers, coaches, they don't always reflect what mom and dad taught them. So it's kind of confusing. Also in Epoch 2, the parent's role has shifted to visionary, disciplinarian, and protector. You're a visionary because you are planning activities and allowing your kids to do activities based on whether those activities are teaching and promoting the same values as your family. And you're a disciplinarian because you are setting up all the ways that your family operates, and you are establishing the rules of behavior, the standards of your family. You're a protector because you're always concerned and are actively defending your child's emotional, spiritual, physical, and mental well-being. Now we move on to Epoch number 3. Epoch 3 is for ages 12 to 18. Now this epoch is also 6 to 7 years, and the parent's role shifts to you're going to be a guide and an enforcer. If you do a good job at laying down a strong foundation and protecting your kids from human culture influences, then the teenage years have the potential for being fairly easy. Fairly easy. Now, girls and boys are completely different in this epoch. I'm going to attempt to not get into the weeds with the differences of how girls and boys react to their changing bodies. I am just going to point out some things to be aware of and maybe some potential issues during this epoch. So ages 12 to 18 can be super scary for kids. Their bodies go through all kinds of changes, like they're growing hair in places that previously had no hair. They're starting to develop a smell, especially the boys. They're starting to shave, and grooming their bodies requires a whole different routine. And then there are the hormones. The big thing that happens during this epoch are they go through puberty, they learn to drive, and they graduate high school. So I guess we're going to have to talk about puberty. Now, puberty is a weird word for me. It comes from the Latin word puber, and means physically mature. It means adult. So puberty for a boy is when he can get a girl pregnant, and puberty for a girl is when she can become pregnant. So for all intents and purposes, puberty means they're an adult, and they kind of get to make adult decisions, and they should suffer adult consequences for those decisions. Now, before I talk about puberty, we should probably talk about sex. before we talk about sex, we should talk about life and all the things that are common to life on this planet. So let's think about these things that are common to life. Learning is part of life. Seeking and attaining knowledge is necessary for survival. Knowledge is being aware that something exists. Understanding is when you've experienced something and you attach meaning to the experience. And wisdom is knowing when to apply knowledge and experience to make judgments and decisions. So learning is part of life. And for the sake of time, I'm just going to list some other things that are a natural part of life. Now, here's a partial list, and this is in no particular order at all. Learning is part of life. Maturity, growth, discovery, curiosity, experimentation, observation, sex, socialization, work and reward, decision-making, morality, ethics, sadness, physical pain, emotional pain. You're going to experience the death of a loved one. Evil is definitely part of this planet. Goodness is part of this planet. Your body's going to get strong, then you're going to get old and weak. You're going to have some hardship, suffering, consequences, joy, betrayal, friendship, and connection. All of that is just part of life. So sex is just part of life. That's why you should be the ones to talk to your kids about sex. Your kids will probably hear about sex in Epoch too. For some reason, parents have taken their responsibility to talk about sex and given that responsibility to the government, which is the school system. Remember, nobody cares about your kids like you care about your kids. So you have the sex talk with your child. And to be honest with you, I waited too long to have the sex talk with my kids. I knew this because as I started to have the talk, they informed me that they already knew. So what do you do in that situation? You pivot. So my pivot was towards making sure they feel the gravity of making the decision to have sex or not have sex. And we're a Christian family. So I told my boys this: for all intents and purposes, you are now a man. You are responsible for everything that you choose in life. Because that's what men do. We take responsibility. You will answer to God one day for what you do, and you are responsible for it. If you choose to have sex and your girlfriend gets pregnant, her family may not believe what we believe, and she may get an abortion, which will be your fault. You will be responsible for the death of an innocent for the rest of your life. See? Gravity. Now, for my daughter, same thing. I wanted to point out the gravity of the decision to have sex or not. After her first period, I had this talk with her. I hear you've had your first period and you are now a woman. Congratulations. Now your decisions are yours and you will be held accountable for them. My role as a parent shifts now, and I have to make sure that you fully live with your decision. I'm the enforcer, remember? So make good choices. Now that you're a woman, if you choose to have sex, you could get pregnant. You need to know what my response will be as your father. We are a Christian family. We will not harm an innocent. So if you get pregnant, you're going to have that baby. And your mom and I will adopt it and care for the baby. If you go behind her back and get an abortion, then I will never speak to you again. Your decision has the power to change this family forever. Now see that may seem harsh, but I wanted my kids to know that I am all in and that my role is to make sure they live through the consequences of their decisions. And remember, she could choose not to have sex. So it's not a given that they're going to have sex. Just having the talk with them made them feel more like an adult with real responsibility and weight. After the talk, I backed off. My role shifts. Before you go thinking I was super strict, I wasn't. As long as they upheld the standards of the family, there was peace in the home. I was strict on big things like drinking, drugs, sex. As long as they resisted the human culture, there was never an issue. Like I don't believe in bailout. I don't believe in bailouts. So if they would have gone to a party and been drinking and the cops arrested everyone, called their parents and said, come get them because they were underage, I would not have gone to get them. As an adult, if you get yourself into something, you're going to have to get yourself out of it. But we only had a few house rules, like number one, most important, keep the mama happy. Number two would be like wash your own clothes, help with the dishes and clean up, things like that. So anyway, puberty is a huge turning point, and they need to hear about sex from you. Now, the next big thing that happens in this epoch is your child learns to drive. So from ages 12 to 15 or 16, there needs to be a mechanism in the family where they can build trust and responsibility. Driving can give your child some independence. And you'll have 3 to 4 years when this epoch starts to establish trust and responsibility. Being a parent means you're always on a schedule. You always have to be thinking about where your child is in their development. Now, I am personally against parents buying their kids a vehicle. Now, if the kid has cut grass for several years or started some form of a business or got a job, saved some money, then I am all for helping them get a car. But I am not for kids getting a car merely because they exist. Getting something for doing nothing breaks one of my non-negotiable house rules, which is everything is earned. Nothing is free in this life. You got to work for it. Now, after you get past puberty and the driving thing, you'll have about 2 more years before your child is scheduled to leave your house for college, military, or just work. Oh yeah, I forgot they graduate from high school during this epoch. You also have to teach them how to plan and think about their future during this epoch. When they're choosing classes and things like that, they will certainly need your guidance. So quick review of Epoch 3 for the kids. Puberty is a huge shift for parents and for kids. Your kids should get a double dose of responsibility training and training on building trust. Keep taking them to church. They're going to learn to drive, and they will hopefully graduate from high school. Yeah, there's big things that happen in Epoch 3. Now, a parent's role in Epoch 3 is to transition to being a guide for your child about how to be a moral, ethical, and responsible adult. And also to be an enforcer, which means to make sure they live with the decisions they make and uphold the house rules. Now, I just can't live with myself if I don't talk about one more thing for this epoch, for epoch number 3, which is technology. Your child will mainly be influenced by you, the parent, from ages 0 to 12. If you want to maintain your positive influence, then limit their access to screens of any kind during the first 12 years of life. You have to protect your kids. Part of that protection comes in the form of limiting the use of phones, tablets, and computers. Now, if you only allow technology for education, then fine, but supervised. No computers, no phones, no tablets in their bedroom. I would even limit their time with video games, especially the video games where they use a headset and talk to other people. There's just too much bad stuff on the internet and in social media to give them free reign on the technology. Now, starting around age 12, all of their friends will have phones and tablets and computers. The other kids will have access to social media, dirty pictures and videos, and TikTok, none of which helps them grow into an ethical or moral adult. The pressure to give your child access to those things that the other kids have will be tremendous, but resist. They will survive it. And I plan on making more videos about protecting your kids later. Anyway, from age 12 to 18, your child will seek to be influenced by the outside world because they're trying to get their independence. This is where things can get dangerous and can mess up all the work you did the first 12 years of life. Epoch 3 can be easy, but you'll have to be a strong parent and use the word no a lot for it to be easy. And finally, Epoch 4. This will be for ages 18 all the way until they get married. This epoch is easy for the kids. They're making their own way. They're independent of you. They'll be studying how to survive without mom and dad. And if you think back, you also enjoy doing that. For parents, this isn't the easiest epoch. The kids thrive, but some parents really struggle with this, especially the moms. Parenting is the slow process of letting go of your kids. Now, your kids will still value your input, but they'll depend on your input less and less. They just need you to be a mentor now. They lack experience, life experience, and they may need you to tell them about your experiences to help them thrive. I think that Epoch 4 is harder on the parents than it is the kids. You've spent 18 years building a foundation, strengthening character, protecting them, guiding them, loving them, and taking care of them. And now they're either gone or they're leaving soon. This is a huge transition for parents, especially moms. So much of your identity is being a mom or a dad, and it can be hard to go back to just being a wife or a husband. It could be super cool. You could go traveling and doing all kind of cool things. So this epoch kind of hurts your feelings a little bit. I always tell people that if I had any feelings, that would hurt them. So that's it. I have completed all 4 of the epochs of child development. Keep in mind, it's just a quick overview. There is certainly a lot more to it. But I think it's helpful to point out the big things, and I call the big things pivot points. And a pivot point is that exact moment where you're about to make a decision. It's like a path you could take. You could take this path or take that path, or you could avoid a path. Sometimes you're unsure about the right thing to do. Well, actually, we always know the right thing to do. It's just not normally the easy thing to do. Anyway, that's it for real this time. Thanks for watching. Leave me some comments and let me know what you think. Also, smash that like button. And until next time, I'm Scott Wilkinson, and this is Foundations of Character.